Hey, good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Sorry for the extended delay there. Just trying to make sure some things are working on our side here. I have a note out to somebody. Hey, Josh. Okay, I'm gonna have somebody call in. You're not gonna be able to get up a pick this quick. Okay. This guest, take me to card really quick, okay? Stay with us. We're gonna have a guest. We're gonna have a guest that just texted me and said they can call in. All right. So take me to card so I can give you the phone for calling in. Okay. Hey, folks, we're back. I tell you why I was trying to get somebody because, you know, I've about had it with Republicans, might I say. And when this individual comes on, we're going to talk about Republican Party, and that's what I want to talk about is the Republican Party. This individual was a delegate for Donald Trump at the convention, a GOP chairperson of a big county, large county. Is it called in yet? Was that a thumbs up that I got? Oh, okay. And when the individual calls in, I want number 11 up while we're talking, okay? All right, so yes, I started out the show asking you to remember, okay? It was Republicans, okay, that felt that we should have Mueller, we should have the special counsel. Sadly to say, we can't blame this on the Democrats. They were not in charge. Democrats were not in charge when Robert Mueller was appointed. Okay, so as soon as Josh gives me the high sign to that our caller is supposed to be at 8:30 has called in, which is right around now, we'll let you know. Okay, all right, we're going to do a sound check and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, folks. 10 seconds. Plug me in. Okay, folks, we're back, and I'm joined now, and I was trying to get this individual on the air earlier with Lee Snover from Northampton County, Pennsylvania. Lee, how are you today?
Doing good.
Okay, I want you to come back. We have President Trump there on the screen as we're talking to you this morning, and I wanted to try to get you on for a couple different reasons. Let's start with this. You volunteer coordinator for the president in Eastern Pennsylvania during the campaign, a delegate to the convention. Do you still support the president of the United States the same way as when you campaigned for him and when you cast your vote as a delegate to the Electoral College?
Absolutely. More than ever. I'm ready to go again. This is the greatest president in my lifetime.
Okay, but why? I mean, now let me get this straight. Let me get this straight so people know why I wanted to talk to you. Because one, we hear the other media, MSNBC or whatever they're called, CNN, we hear them talk about the losing Republican support, losing supporters. And so you did work in Eastern Pennsylvania as a volunteer coordinator for the then candidate Donald J. Trump. You went to the convention as a delegate and you cast your vote. Are you still the chairperson for the Northampton County Republican Party?
Yes.
And,
yes.
And how many how many people, population-wise, is in your county that the Republicans try to bring in, that you're trying to bring in?
Well, our overall voters in our county are 209,000. That's how many people go to the polls when we have an election. Between 200 and 300,000 people vote in our county.
All right, now I want to call it the let's not bury our head in the sand now. Charlie Dent retired, which was no better than having a Democrat in your district before, but the reality is your district is one of the ones they consider flipping. What is going on in your area? Because you did bring in Northampton County, or you and the volunteers that work with you, but many of you, what I want to say is you guys did bring in Northampton County for President Trump in the first election. You are unequivocally still supporting him, but what about people in your area? How do they see things, and what's changing out there that we should be aware of?
Well, I think when it comes to the president, there's not a lot changing. I think his supporters are in lockstep for him, and they're not buying into what's happening out there. However, I need you to understand Northampton County is a D+13 district. Think about that for a minute. We are a Democrat +13 in registration. When we wake up on Election Day, we're losing by 22,000 votes the day the polls open. And we can win Republican elections because we have been very true to the people. We give the people the truth. We're very good at giving out comparison pieces and getting the message out, and we win for Republicans. And this last cycle was a bad cycle for Pennsylvania, a horrible cycle. The Democrats brought in so much outside money. They spent $5 million in our county. Really tough cycle. And but we only lost by 6 points. And considering we're a D+13 county, that's not the end of the world. And I have peace about it because we're going to be back strong in 2020, and we're going to win for the president.
All right, now let me fast forward up there. You got 200 and some thousand voters. One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you. Hey, we're in Gilmer County here. We have a county of about 28,000 total population. You have 200 and some thousand voters, registered voters. And I wanted to get to a big Northeast area that is, like you said, a D+13, and what it's going to be like to get Donald Trump over the finish line in 2020. But as a chair of a Republican Party in a big county, this stuff with impeachment and so on and so forth, how about the Republicans standing up for him? I mean, we got to remember Robert Mueller is not special counsel unless Republicans agreed to let it happen. I mean, what say you as a Republican?
What say me is, you know what, with these never-Trumpers, that's why you got to cut the head off the snake, because it comes back. And I just think they're waiting to jump on Trump. And I'll tell you what, they better be very careful. This could be very detrimental to the Republican Party, because Obama and Hillary broke the same exact laws. This is campaign finance, folks. This isn't anything about Russia, anything about collusion. It's campaign finance. And a lot of candidates violate campaign finance, and they pay a fine. But because it's Trump, and we're holding Trump to a different standard, they want to prosecute him. It's ridiculous. And I'm telling you what you need to ask for Christmas. You ask for a yellow jacket, because if they indict our president and they try to impeach our president, we're going to rise up because we're sick of it. We have a great president, and we need to stand behind him.
Okay, a couple things real quick. Let's change the tone a little. All right, this is a picture here I have on the screen. You're not able to see it, and it is the President of the United States at the airfield there in Philadelphia for the Army-Navy game. You were able to, and again, thank you very much for all the great pictures. I am going to show them to the audience when we get off, but you were able to be there Saturday. How close are you guys in being able to greet and meet the president Saturday?
It was awesome. He came right up and greeted it. There was only like 30 families that were invited. You know, they wanted to keep it small because he was in a hurry to get to the Army-Navy game. So he didn't have it wasn't time for 500 people in a rally. So it was just 30 families. And, you know, it was great. I mean, he takes the time. He shakes everybody's hand. He smiles and welcomes everyone. He's very down to earth. I mean, they just will not paint the right picture of him for you. I mean, even the Secret Service will say, you know, we never can predict presidents. Sometimes they get off the plane and wave and just leave. So when he gets here, we have no idea what he's going to do. But he came right over and started greeting the families, getting photos, you know, and it's just awesome. It's awesome. I mean, it's, you know, seeing Air Force One and seeing the car he rides in and, you know, just the way he comes right over to you. He's very fearless. You know what I mean? He really is opening. He's very open to people. And I know he believes in Pennsylvania. He's going to be spending a great deal amount of time here because he's got to win Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania might be the #1 battleground state in 2020. All right. Here's where I know exactly who we need to hold on to. Here's where we need help. Republican suburban women, okay? Now, these aren't rural. We're not talking rural where you live. These are people, they're about 6 to 7 miles outside of cities, outside of Easton, outside of Allentown, outside of Bethlehem. The suburban Republican women are who we're losing, okay? And that is the target. That's who we need back. That's who we need on board. That's who we need to get.
All right. Well, you're a suburban Republican woman, and I know you have your finger on that. On that. So what do we have to do? Why are we losing in that area? What do we have to do? And what's their concern to get their vote back? What do you think?
Well, one of the things is we need to let them know it's okay to support Trump. People get this ugly feeling like, oh, you know, nobody likes him, the press is against him. You know, people in Pennsylvania, it's a really odd place. They do not go for the underdog. They like to be on the winning team here. It's a different dynamic. So we need them to know it's okay to vote for the president. Number two, we need to convince them about security. He's keeping the country safe, and we need to convince them that, you know, illegal immigration is not safe for them and their children. So we need to convince them of that. Safety, security, and it's okay to like this president. It's okay to vote for this president. The Democrats have made these Republican elite women, educated Republican women, you know, that go to freaking card games during the day and are watching A&E during the day. We need to convince them it's okay to support the president. So that's where we're at on it, but that is who we're losing. In the last 2018 midterm, we've done the studies, and the townships right outside of the cities that typically vote Republican are where we lost the election.
Okay, you know, just a couple more things. You got an opinion on a new chief of staff and Kelly leaving. You got an opinion on the recent discussion on impeachment and what's going on and what will happen in the next 2 years. What is some of your opinions on what's taking place with the chief of staff and the recent comments that Trump may be impeached or bring articles of impeachment against him?
Well, here's the thing. Trump doesn't have to be impeached. It's only if the Republicans fall for this scheme. I mean, we have bigger criminals with Hillary and Obama and Comey. It's only if the Republicans flip, join in, and fall for this. It's a gimmick. And the only way he gets indicted and impeached is the Republicans go along. If they stand firm and they get out there on the news media and stop being cowards and stop being afraid and stand up to MSM and tell them the truth, you know what I mean, that he should not be impeached. There's no law breaking here. This should just be a fine like everybody else. If the Republicans stand with him, we will be fine. If the Republicans cave, we have a major problem, and that's where it's going to be. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm happy with Mark Meadows as chief of staff. I think he's in a congressional district that's safe, that we could afford to take him out of that district and replace him with another Republican. And that will show the Republicans that we're standing firm in our conservative values with the Freedom Caucus if we bring somebody like that on board.
Well, I just want to let you know so you can add it to the list, and I don't want to use I don't want to. I want you to keep the pressure on in Pennsylvania that now with Gerard Nadler out of New York yelling impeachable offense, and which what a lot of people do not pay attention to is the House Judiciary Committee is where articles impeachment start and the hearing would take place. I want to let you and your friends know, and we need to get this out, is the ranking Republican now, defender of Trump, is the 9th Congressional District of Georgia, Congressman Doug Collins, my congressman. And I had Congressman Collins on here last week on this show, and I got video where I said, hey, Nadler and them are going to want to bring impeachment charges. What are you guys going to do? So I want you guys to know that, you know, maybe you can help us here in Georgia. We need to get the word out that Congressman Doug Collins in the 9th District here in Georgia, the pressure needs to be maintained to defend our president because he is now the ranking Republican that has to go up against Nadler. So,
well, you know what? I mean, the whole 2018 midterm was about impeachment, and we just didn't get the word out. And the Democrats, you know, here's what they're better than us at. And I'm going to tell you guys, wake up Republicans. They have a better long game. They have a better long-term game. They were after Pennsylvania a couple years ago working on this redistricting, and we were asleep at the wheel. Next thing you know, they've taken over the Congress. Okay? They're coming to every state. Don't think that it can't happen in your state. They have a long game. They're better at long-term planning, and they're out to take this country over, and it's pure evil. It's coming from pure evil. They want control. It's a world control, and that's what's happening. And I don't know if you're paying attention to what's going on in France.
yes.
But other countries are chanting, we want Trump. In the UK, they're chanting, we want Trump. In France, they're chanting, we want Trump. And what is America doing? We don't want Trump, and we want to impeach him. I mean, we're being blinded by evil, and evil is controlling the media.
So, Mike, there's two more things I got to let you go. My Christmas, I need to get a yellow jacket. Is that what you're saying? I got to get my yellow vest?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yellow vest for Christmas. You heard it here. And last, before we go, Winston. Let's drill this down to Winston. Winston is our nephew, folks. How excited was Winston to get to meet the president? And I've got a picture here in a minute when Lee leaves. How excited was Winston to meet the president of the United States yesterday?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was a thrill. Both of my sister's kids got to shake hands with the president of the United States. I mean, Reagan was president when I was in high school. I can't imagine ever getting to do that. It was just an awesome feeling. You know what? I know Reagan was a great president, and I know that. But here's the difference. Reagan never went through the turmoil that Trump is going through. He was never under this much adversity. So, I mean, that's what is astounding to me, how Trump keeps going and going and going. And every day he goes and does his job. But meeting him on Saturday was wonderful. And just thank God that he's in charge of our military and how proud we are of him at the Army-Navy game. The crowds were roaring in support of him. There weren't any boos.
So you were at the game also?
No, I didn't go to the game. I had some friends that went to the game.
Oh, okay.
I went out on the 22-degree temperature.
Oh, so you wimped out on a 22-degree temperature for the game,
yeah,
but some others did. And you say this was kindly private, only about 30 families invited here?
Yeah, yes, it was a private invite. And I'm very fortunate to be very close to the Republican leader in Pennsylvania, the state party leader, so I get invited to a lot of Trump events. But, yeah, I heard the Army-Navy game was so in favor of him. The crowd was just, you know, they can't gauge the people. But I'll tell you what, if the elections were honest, we win every time. And I know we're going to win in 2020 if we have a fair election.
All right, we're going to let you go on that. We appreciate it. I wanted to hear your perspective from another area of the country and what Republicans thought at this time with two years coming up. Thank you very much. You have a nice day.
Merry Christmas, Georgia. Merry Christmas. Have a good day.
Okay, folks. In disclosure, in full disclosure, that is my sister, Lee Snover, and her and my other sister and her family were within the 30 families that were privately invited to meet the president before the Army-Navy game. Let's go through a list of pictures. Number one, Here is how close they were. Look at this. Is that not got, Josh, when you look at that, does that not have confidence? Like, does confidence not jump right out? This guy has confidence. He's coming off the plane. He comes over. Now, they were told when they got there, I do know this, that they did not know when the president got there if he would come over and say hello to the families, but he did. He got straight off the plane. Let's go to number 2. This is how close they were Saturday, meeting the president. Number 3. Again, this is right before, this is at the airfield, right before the Army-Navy game. Number 4, slide through there, and there is a nice pick right there. Number 5, the United States of America. There's Air Force One. There's Trump walking away. Number 6, and here is number 7 coming off Air Force One. Number 8, we'll run through these very quickly, and I want to show you something. Now, number 9, it's interesting. Air Force One just shows up, okay? And this is my nephew. He's on his phone. He's in his chair waiting. I think Winston, his name's Winston, yes, named after a gun. Winston is 10 years old, okay? He's waiting for the president to come off Air Force One. Now, this is number 10, and I want to show you, okay? Because the top of this blue band starts with a T, and this is his Trump boggin, USA Trump boggin, and this is my 10-year-old nephew right there, Winston, getting to shake the President of the United States' hand. I'm really excited for him, wanted to highlight him. Number 11, both of my nephews are right there in the mix. Both of my nephews, one's 16 and one is 10. And here is, we'll wrap up. I'm going to highlight him today. I love this little guy, and he is a big-time Trumper. Number 12, there's Winston, number 12, USA, and the top of that boggin says Trump, and that's the back of the hat you saw earlier. And here he is from the back, waiting to get to meet the president. Local boy there, Trump USA, got his hat on. And number 14, all excited there, getting to see the President of the United States at 10 years old. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come down and break. We're going to come back and break all this down now. Impeachment, Republicans, what we have to do. You heard someone out of an area with 220-some thousand voters in their county in Pennsylvania that did go Trump last time. It's going to be tough. You heard firsthand about suburban white Republican women and losing that vote. We'll come back, break all that down on our show this morning. Take us a break.